Hola amigos, good morning. Today we're going to be working on our math countdown package for today's date, which is March 24th. Please make sure you're ready with your packet, with that page on your packet, and your school supplies too. Okay, so let's start. Remember that we were going to be checking each of the questions. I'm going to guide you through the steps, and then we're going to find the answers. Let's begin. In this paper, we have 6 questions, as you can see. Let's start on number 1. Okay, let me just make it a little bit bigger here so we can all read it. Number 1. A farmer is graphing the number of eggs that 4 of his hens laid last month. The graph is not yet complete, so let me just highlight the first part of information here. The number of eggs that 4 of his hens laid last month. We can see here that in the graph we only see the information from 2 of the hens, Penny and Lulu. Right here, we're missing the information from March and Gilda. Taking a look at the graph here, we see that the numbers go by 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. We can also notice that in between each number there's another line, which means that will be half of the number. What is half of 4? That's correct, it's 2. It means that each line represents 2. I'm going to use my pencil right here. I'm going to write 2. This should be a 6 right here. This pencil is not very clear there, but I'm sure that you're doing a better job at your paper. Right here between 8 and 12, what should be the number? That's correct. This one should be a 10 right there. Then we have 12. What is between 12 and 16? What will be 2 more? 12 plus 2, that is 14 right there. Okay, that should be a 14. Okay, now let's just check right here the first part of the information. Now we can tell for sure how many eggs Penny laid. So right here, this bar is exactly on 10. I'm going to put 10 on top right here so I remember that number. And amigos, how many eggs the second hen has, which is Lulu, is right here, is exactly aligned to that number 8 that was already given. So I'm going to write a number 8 right there. Okay, let's continue reading now for the options. March laid twice as many eggs as Penny. So I'm going to also highlight that. Twice as many eggs as Penny. Okay. The 4 hens laid a total of 50 eggs. So I'm going to highlight that too. The 4 hens laid a total of 50 eggs. Which bars complete the farmer's graph? So now we have 2 pieces of information there. The first one is that March, it means the one right here, let me highlight it. March laid twice as many eggs as Penny. So if Penny laid 10, and this hen has twice as this number, we know that we have to go 10 times 2. 10 times 2, which is 2 times 10. We can also add, so we could also add 10 times 2. I'm going to make this one clearer. This one is a times right there. Okay. 10 times 2 is 20, so now we know that March had 20. And we also know that the 4 of them laid a total of 50. So now we have 3 numbers. Penny has 10, Lulu has 8, and March has 20. With these 3 numbers, we're going to make an addition first. So So let me just add right here. I need to add 10 plus 8. Plus 20. And now let's see what the answer is. So I know that 0 plus 8 is 8, plus 0, that should be 8. I don't need to carry any number, it's just an 8. And then 1 plus 2 is 3, so 38. So on my first step, I know that these 3 hands laid 38 eggs. And the 4 of them had a total of how many? 50. Okay. So my second step here will be from the 50 that is total, I'm going to subtract this number right here that I found. So 50 minus 38. And then I'm ready for subtraction. Well, you remember that I cannot say 0 minus 8. So I need to borrow from my neighbor right here. And sorry, I can still not use my tool right there, but you know that I'm going to cross that one out right here. And that one becomes a 4. Okay. And then this one is going to borrow 10 from the neighbor. So 10 minus 8, that should be a 2. 10 minus 8 is 2. Remember that in this number here, this one became a 4. So 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay. I can still not show my strategy there because of my computer tools, but I'm sure that on your paper, if I could see your paper now, you will have crossed out the number 5 and it became a 4. And also in this 0, you know, it became a 10. So now we know that the other hand laid 12 eggs. Now we're almost ready for all those answers. So let's check the options here. Remember, we're looking for number 20 in March and number 12. I'm going to put it right here. 12 for Gilda. So let's see. Letter A. March has 20. This one is correct. And Gilda has 12. Well, I think we already found the right option. Let me put a question mark here because maybe it's the right answer. Okay. Let's go for letter B. March has 1 above 16. That will be 18. We put 18 right here. So no, this is not the one we need. I can cross it out already. And if you check Gilda there, it only has 14. So definitely I'm going to cross out letter B. It's not a good option. Letter C, March has 24. That's way too many. Remember, we only need 20. So this one is not correct. And Gilda has 12. Which Gilda's numbers is correct, but this one is not, so I can cross it out already. Letter C is not a good option. And I go to letter D. March has 20, that's correct. But Gilda only has 10, which is 1 line above the number 8. So this one won't be correct either. I cross out letter D, and amigos, we have found the answer. That is letter A. So let me use my highlighter here to make sure that we have the right answer. So number 1 is letter A. Great job. Let's move on to number 2. Let me make it a bit bigger here for you. Okay. So we have the question, Adrian plays video games for 25 minutes every day of the week. Let me just highlight that. For 25 minutes every day of the week. How many days are there in a week? We know there are 7 days in a week. Next week, he will play video games every day except Sunday. So one day he will not play. So he still has 7 days of the week minus 1. He has 6 days of that week that he's going to play video games. So 6 days. And each day he's going to play for 25 minutes. What is the total number of minutes that Adrian will play video games next week? So 6 days times 25 minutes. Okay. So I know that you remember how to create a multiplication 2 digit by 1 digit. Let me do it here for you so you can also see it and remember. I need to multiply 25 times 6, okay? Times 6. Okay, I hope you can understand my 6 right there. And then we start 6 times 5. You know your tables of 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let me write the 30 right here. Remember, we practiced this in class. The first step is I'm going to multiply the numbers at the very right. So 6 times 5 is 30. Then before I move on, I need to put a 0 right here. And now I can multiply the other. 6 times 2 is 12. So I'm going to write it there. Make sure the numbers are aligned. Again, my numbers look a little bit tilted. I'm still practicing with this, as you know. So just make sure your numbers are aligned, the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. And now we are ready to add, as you will remember. So let's add these numbers. 0 plus 0 is 0, of course. 3 plus 2, that is 5. And this one just is the same number, so that will be 150. 25 times 6 is 150. We have found the answer, and now we're going to write it down on our grid. 1, 5, and 0, 150. And then I'm going to bubble in using my tool right here. 1, 5, and 0. Make sure you bubble in correctly. You don't have any blank spaces inside that bubble that you chose. So 150. Good, number 2 is ready. Let's continue to number 3. It says Rebecca wants to make groups of 7. Let me just circle that information, or underline in this case. Make groups of 7 with the beans shown below. How many groups of 7? How many groups of 7 can she make? That is a question we have to answer. Step number 1. Let's please count how many beans are there. I'm going to give you a few seconds to count. I'm counting in my mind, and then we will compare the numbers. Okay. I hope you found the same answer as I did. After I counted, I know that there are 28 beans. 28. That is a total number right here. We get 7 right here. 7 here too. That is 14. 5 more at the very bottom. That is 19. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 19 and 9 more. That makes 28. How many groups of 7 can she make? Oh, remember we practiced this. When they give you two numbers, you have the number 28 and then you have the number 7. The first step is we're going to make the tables of the smaller number. In this case, again, we have 28 and 7. The smaller number is 7. So let me make my tables of 7. Remember, you start with 7 and then you add the same number. So 7 plus 7 more. 7 plus 7, that should be 14. And then I continue adding 7 more. 14 plus 7 more, that's 21. 21 plus 7 more, that will be 28. 28 plus 7 more, that's 35. 35 plus 7 more, that's 42. The next number should be 49. Then 49 plus 7 more, that will be 56. Next number should be 63. And our last number of the tables of 7 is 70. Okay. Great job there. Very good. So I'm just going to put my tables on this side so we can all see what we're doing here. So amigos, these are my tables of 7. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, and 70. Now that I have my tables of 7, I need to find the number 28. Remember, we need to find the bigger number. And the number 28 is actually right here. I'm going to change the color of the number so we can see it clearly. That is the number 28. And then I just count how many times it took me to get to 28. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 times. Well, now I know the answer. I'm going to cross out the options. It is not 3 times, because 3 times is 21. It is 4 times, so this might be correct, because that gives me 28. 6 times, let me see what gives me 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 42, so no, we don't need to find the 42. And 5 times, that will make 35, so it's not a good answer either. We have found the answer already. That is letter B, 4 times. Great job. Let's continue. Question number 4. This one is a little bit wider there on my screen, so let me just make it a bit smaller so you can read. Okay. Number 4, each number line in the answer choices represents a length of 1 foot. Let me just highlight that. Represents a length of 1 foot. Which model shows a shaded bar that is 3/4 foot long? Okay, if you remember what we have to do here, amigos, the number here is 3/4. I'm going to put it here as a fraction. 3/4. It means 3 out of 4. First thing we have to check is in our bar, we are supposed to have four parts in one complete. So let me put the number here. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is 3, and 4 right here. So this bar has the numbers that I need. So this might be the right answer, because if you notice, it has 4 parts and it is 3 parts out of 4 shaded. So this one has 3 out of 4 shades. Let's go for letter G. Well, I can already see that it has way too many parts than I need. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there, 6, 7, and 8 parts. That's many more than I need. And I know that if I do my numbers here correctly, I know that there are 3 parts out of 8 shaded. 3 out of 8. Amigos, this number is not the same as the one I need here. 3 out of 8. Let me make that 8 a bit clearer. 3 out of 8 is not what I need. I can already cross out letter G. Let's move to letter H. Again, I can see that it has way too many more parts that I need, so that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 parts. Again, more than I need. And it has 3 parts out of 6 shaded. 3 out of 6. Again, the number is very different from my 3/4 that I need. Let me cross that out. Let's move to letter J. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 parts. This is number 3 again. And it has 1, 2, 3 out of 5 shaded. Again, the number is bigger than the one I need, because I need 3 out of 4. Let me cross it out. And amigos, you will agree with me, we have found the answer. That's letter F. 3 out of 4. 3/4. Okay. Great job there. Let's move to number 5. Number 5 right here. The table shows the amount of water that Benjamin plans to drink tomorrow in the morning, afternoon, and evening. So we can see the table there. In the morning, 9 fluid ounces. So this abbreviation means fluid ounces. That is a measure that we use for liquids. That's why it's called fluid. Something fluid is liquid. Okay, fluid ounces. In the afternoon, 17 fluid ounces, and in the evening, 16 fluid ounces. They're giving us those 3 numbers for morning, afternoon, and evening. The question is, what is the total amount of water that Benjamin plans to drink tomorrow? So if it says total, what do we have to do with these 3 numbers? That's very correct. We need to add them. I'm going to add 9 plus 17. If the numbers are big, then what you can do is first you're going to add the first 2, like I'm doing here. So I know that 9 plus 7, that is 16, so 6, and I'm going to carry 1 right here. Remember, for you, you're going to put it inside a box so you know that you carried. So this 1 right here, because I carried, it should be inside a box. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, and that will make 26. I'm going to change the color of this one so you remember that I carried this number. Okay. Now that I have this 26 ready, I'm going to add the next number, that is 16. So 26 plus 16. And when I add those 2, I will have the total amount of water that Benjamin will drink tomorrow, sorry. So 6 plus 6 is 12. That is 2, and I'm going to make sure I carry 1 right here. Let me change the color again so you remember that I carried. In your paper, it should look like a box right there, inside a box. So 6 plus 6 is 12, so 2 and I carry 1. And then I add these numbers. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. So that should be number 4 right there. The answer of this addition is 42. Remember that we're talking about fluid ounces. So I need to find an answer that says fluid ounces, 32 fluid ounces. Okay, so let me just put it right there. 42 fluid ounces, that's the answer, letter D. And let's finish this paper with number 6 right there. Let me just move this table over here so we can see the question. Number 6, the table shows a number of boxes that are needed to package different numbers of toy cars. So for 6 cars, we need 2 boxes. For 9 cars, we need 3 boxes. For 15 cars, we don't know. This is what we have to find. And for 21 cars, we need 7 boxes. Which number sentence shows a number of boxes? Let me just go ahead and highlight this part. The number of boxes that are needed to package 15 toy cars. And then we can see the 4 options. 15 divided by 3 equals 5. 15 plus 3 equals 5. 15 times 3 equals 5. And 15 minus 3 equals 5. Okay, the first thing we have to do is we can eliminate options that they don't really make sense. For example, we start checking each of them. Letter F says 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Well, I think that is true. Well, we're going to do our tables of 5 right here. 5, 10, 15. Okay, so I'm just going to get to 15 there to check that 15 divided by 3, 1, 2, and 3 equals 5. Remember, this is the same as 5 times 3 is 15. So this answer, letter F, it makes sense. It might be correct. Letter G, 15 plus 3 equals 5. Well, you know that is not true because 15 plus 3 is 18. So I'm going to cross that one out. Letter H, 15 times 3 equals 5. I know that you know that's not the answer, amigos, because 15 times 3, when you complete the multiplication there, remember again we say 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to put my 15 right there. And then before I go to the next number, I'm going to write a 0 here. I'm going to anchor my 0. 3 times 1 is 3. And then I'm going to add those two numbers. 5 plus 0 is 5. And 1 plus 3 is 4. We know that 15 times 3 is 45. So this answer is not correct. It cannot be correct. Let me cross it out. Finally, letter J, 15 minus 3. Well, we know that that is a 12, so the answer is not correct. The only option here is 15 divided by 3 equals 5. So I'm going to put the 5 right here. And now let's check if that is correct. We need to find the pattern that they're following here. And the pattern is basically they are dividing this number, the number at the top, by this number. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Remember, we can also multiply the number at the bottom. 2 times 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. 2 times 3 equals 6. That is correct. 3 times 3. We're multiplying the number at the bottom by 3 instead of dividing it. Okay, sorry, that doesn't look like a 3. Okay, 3 times 3 is 9. That is correct. 5 times 3, we already have our table here. We already checked that. And that is 15. That is correct. 7 times 3. If you don't remember if that's true, remember in this question, in the question number 3, we did our tables of 7. 7 times 3 is 7, 14, 21. That is correct. It means that answer F is the right choice in this question. 15 divided by 3 equals 5, which is the same as saying 5 times 3 equals 15. Let's just finish the session by checking the answers from all the questions to make sure you have the right answer to all of them. And remember that on your paper, you should have used our strategies, meaning my expectation is to see that you underlined or highlighted important information. If your answer is correct, check mark. If it's not correct, question mark. And if you didn't answer it by yourself because you didn't understand how to do it, you can go for a circle around the number that you skipped. The answers are the following. Number 1 is letter A. Number 2, the answer should be 150 on your grid right here. Number 3, the answer is B, which is 4. Question 4, the answer is F, the first option right there. Question 5, your answer should be D, 42 fluid ounces. And question number 6, your answer should be letter F, which is 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Okay, amigos, so with this we have finished checking our second paper that you're doing from home. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any specific questions, you can text me on Class Dojo. Thank you, and keep on working on your math skills.